You practice ear training, but you hardly improve, and sometimes you feel like you're actually getting worse. The worst part? You don't even know why it's happening. Unfortunately, thousands of musicians experience the same thing. But after developing a unique ear training method that's now used by over 2,500 musicians and taught at top universities worldwide, we've identified 7 common habits that secretly sabotage the development of your musical instinct. And believe me, I made every one of these mistakes. In this video, we're going to share how to fix all of them. Let's start with the first. But before we do, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss our upcoming videos. If your foundation is shaky, everything you build on top of it will collapse. Many musicians skip to melodic dictation, transcription, or chord recognition before they can even match a pitch or sing the scale. But ear training develops like a pyramid, and the base matters. Without mastering foundational skills like pitch matching, singing the scale, tonic recognition, tonic retention, and so on, every advanced skill becomes guesswork because you literally can't apply the correct thinking strategies that naturally evolve into intuitive listening skills down the road. This is why so many students plateau. They don't lack talent. They just skipped steps. Remember, mastering the fundamentals is what unlocks fluency, not skipping ahead. And that brings us to the next trap. It might sound boring, but singing the scale is a superpower. Singing the scale doesn't just help your pitch. It helps you feel the gravitational field of music. Every note or chord in the scale has a specific sensation of tension or resolution. That's its emotional role within the tonality. Great musicians recognize notes and chords effortlessly because they recognize these sensations just like you recognize colors. But you can't build that skill if you can't even hum the scale with decent accuracy. So before you practice anything else, learn to sing the scale fluently. Don't get me wrong. You don't have to become a great singer to do that. Just humming it is enough. The third trap is relying too much on visual thinking. Visual thinking is killing your rhythm, musical memory, improvisation, and ear. The problem with most music education nowadays is that it's overwhelmingly visual. Everyone tells you to learn scale shapes, chord charts, finger positions, musical notation, and so on. It's all good stuff, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, music is sound. It is auditory. When your musical connection shifts from visual to auditory, you develop stronger musical memory, accurate rhythm, fluent improvisation skills, and a real connection to musical emotions and sensations, which are the keys to a great ear. That is what separates the great from the average. The fourth trap is really common. So common that you're doing it right now without even realizing it. But before we get to it, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss our upcoming videos. YouTube has become both a goldmine and a graveyard for musicians, jumping from one tip to the next, grabbing exercises from 5 different teachers who contradict each other, and putting them together as if you were making an ear training salad can create a dangerous illusion of progress. But here's the truth. Without a feedback loop, you're not actually learning what's making the difference. If you do exercise A on Monday and exercise B on Tuesday, but they're based on opposite philosophies, how can you tell which one is helping or hurting? You can't, and that's the problem. Our brains need consistent input and measurable feedback in order to confidently say,
"Okay, this is clearly working. I'm improving."
Or,
"Nah, this is not working at all for me."
ear training is no different. Here's what we recommend instead. Choose one method and stick with it for 4 to 8 weeks. It doesn't have to be hours if you don't like it. If the method is solid, you should start to see noticeable improvement and feel that your skills are gradually becoming more intuitive. On the other hand, if you can do all the exercises but still can't recognize even a single note by ear after months of training, or if the exercises you're asked to perform constantly feel overwhelming, those are clear red flags. While ear training methods may differ, the learning process of the human brain is the same for everyone. Depending on your current skill level, there's a clear level of difficulty where you are challenged just enough, without being overwhelmed. That's the practice zone you should stay within. Constant overwhelm clearly won't produce significant improvement. And this is another reason why you should avoid scattering your practice. Most exercises online are not tailored to your level or specific weaknesses, so most of them do more harm than good. A great example of why most YouTube advice fails is the common line,
"Just learn songs by ear, and your ear will improve."
Yes, this is a valuable practice in theory, but the big problem is that most musicians approach it like this. They grab their instrument and hunt and peck notes until they stumble upon the ones that sound right. This trial and error method doesn't develop your ability to recognize notes or chords by ear alone, and it doesn't train any of the skills that truly grow your musicality. So here's what you're missing out on. Transcribing melodies and chords by ear alone, imagining notes and chords clearly and easily, developing an instinctive mind-to-instrument connection, mastering improvisation, and connecting with music on a much deeper, sensation-based level. So the issue isn't with learning songs by ear, it's in how you do it. To do it effectively, you need to do it mentally, without relying on an instrument for help. But this requires foundational skills, some of which we mentioned earlier in the video. That said, we all know there are excesses in every direction. Some people jump into learning songs by ear without having the necessary foundation, so they do it ineffectively. Others never transition from exercises to recognizing real music. Exercises are helpful and often essential, but they're not enough. You won't learn to speak a language by practicing with a textbook alone. It's the same with music. Many musicians practice a lot, but never work on real songs. And that's exactly why we built an ear training app specifically for this purpose. It lets you train your ear directly on full songs with complete arrangements. It's the first app that does that. So you can overcome the internal resistance many musicians face when it comes to transcribing real music by ear. You'll find the link in the description to download the app for free. But wait until the end of the video because you don't want to miss the next mistake. It's the #1 reason why musicians struggle to recognize notes or chords by ear, even after years of practice. And if you're new to this channel, it's probably one you don't even realize you're making. Most people think the only way to recognize notes by ear is by calculating intervals, either between each note or between each note and the tonic of the key. But here's the thing. Not only is this not how great musicians actually recognize notes and chords, it's actually the main blocker that prevents people from developing intuitive ear training skills. Thinking in intervals creates a layer of mental calculation that slows you down, and even worse, disrupts your internal perception of tonality. Without a stable perception of tonality, you literally can't form a connection between each scale degree and its sensation, the essential foundation of an intuitive ear. Just check out this clip to see how a professional jazz musician and oral skills teacher at one of South Africa's top 3 universities was completely blocked by interval-based thinking.
By the end of my degree, I could look flashy and look like I knew what I was doing, but I was playing maths. I wasn't really playing music. So I thought, I'm going to retrain myself. I ordered an ear training course by a guy called David Lucas Burge, and I thought it would help. It's like, here's the interval, identify it. And it would be like flipping intervals and changing, and it's that fast. And I could do all of that. Chord qualities, all that stuff. And I got really, really good at it. At the end of that course, you have to transcribe the Star Spangled Banner, the anthem. And I couldn't do it. I mean, I was obviously frustrated because I knew how good I'd gotten at that. Like, I was really good.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with helpful insights in our upcoming videos. If interval thinking or the other traps we covered sound familiar, don't worry. Thousands of musicians face them, but fixing even one can start transforming your musicality. We dive much deeper into this in our free workshop. You'll get science-based exercises and learn which to practice first based on your level. Plus, you'll understand the proven and effective thinking strategies to adopt when recognizing notes and chords by ear. Click the link in the description to register for free. But if you're not ready for that yet, no worries. Check out this other video to understand why interval thinking fails, what the best thinking strategy is to adopt instead, and get a few practical exercises to start training your ear the right way. It's one of the most loved videos on our channel, and it might just change the way you think about ear training forever.